Okay, so which way do I do this? I'll move it over here like that. Okay, so I wanted to draw this guy really quick. This is Olaf. Okay, so this is Olaf. Now, let's get this paper straight. Okay. And so, you can see his head is like at this angle. So you want to, you think it's gonna, you want to scope out how much space on the page it's gonna, so you don't have anything go off the page. So you're gonna have something like this, and then he's gonna come out like this, okay? And then you got the two little feet. So you want to plot out like where this stuff is gonna go, and stick figures. So you could tell how far these things go out. Like, is the arm gonna be this far out or this far out? But basically, there's a line here, from here to here. That kind of angle. So you know the finger, he's got a hand here. It looks like sticks, but you break it down into smaller shapes. These are kind of like rectangles. And he even has a little thickness in the arm. It's kind of like a forearm. So that's the level. You don't want to get too detailed. And then same with all of this. Like, does this midsection take up this much space? No. It looks like it's even shorter. It'd be even like this. And then this line here is just a slight curve here. His body goes into it like that. So this bottom third, how far does it come out? Does it come out that much? Yeah, about. Does it come down this far? Maybe not. Like that. And so those are the things that you will get good at the more you do it. And I'm kind of rusty, so I have to work at it hard and try to remind myself the way, the little tricks to draw things. And see, does that come out this way? Yeah, it's coming out a little bit. So those are the things I'm looking at. And then I'll go in there and get rid of these guidelines, and basically lines are off. Okay, and then this arm comes in. Now this arm is higher up than this, see? So I made a critical error here. So you just have to be able to start over on parts of the drawing and just get on with it. But it's easier to do when it's sketchy. So those are the things. So you can see this. Okay, so this right here is kind of like a triangle. Comes out, his cheeks come out big here. And it comes in. Again, with this hand, how far does it go out? Well, it kind of goes out like here. There's a line here. So maybe it tops out over here. It comes out here, this high. It's like 1/3 down from here. And then it tops out maybe around here. So he's got 3 fingers and a thumb here, kind of like that. So we want to keep that in mind. That's very sketchy. Very, very sketchy. And so you keep it to that detail level. And then you see it goes down the centerpiece, and then the nose is going to be in the center. So if you envision the base, it would be like this kind of circle, and it comes out. And then it's a long carrot, but it doesn't look long in this 2D space. It comes here, it's fat, and it comes to a point pretty quickly. Where does it come to a point? Well, it comes here, the midpoint's about here. So here's the midpoint, it comes out about here. So we want to point that out here. And you can see there's a curvature to this. So there's foreshortening, they call it foreshortening. And so that's one of the trickiest parts. Then you look at here, it's basically a curve. So don't let the foreshortening fool you. And then there's rings around here, and you kind of drop in rings here. How much space do these eyes take? Well, it's really close to here and a little bit more here. So it'll be something like this, close there. The eyes are close together. Are they round or oval? Well, the middle part's round, but the outer part is more oval. So let's try to do that. So right here, there's more space, so his head comes out because it's not a full straight-on view. It's what they would call a three-quarter view. And this is pretty straight right here. Boom. You go straight down right into the neck. Now the mouth comes like this. You can see there's more space here than this. This is the mouth. It comes all the way to the end of the face here. Now how high? The space between the upper lip and the nose is very important. It creates character. See, it's pretty, not really close, but it's equidistant right in here. So let's try to capture that. Okay, now this comes out along here. The mouth continues, but then the bottom of the mouth comes out here, so there's some space there, see? Okay, right here, same thing, goes in further, and that just loops like a parabola. And here's the center line. This thing's kind of a little bit off center. It's not really in the center. That's the way they drew it somewhat. I see it. That's how I see it. Okay. Now, is that mouth narrow enough for that? It looks like about the same thing. You put this big tooth in the middle. It covers. You see, this is a line here that we marked. You can see most of the tooth is on the left side, so we do that, and then maybe come in. But that's not going to define like the character of the personality of the character, so it's we probably have some leeway there. Now, this curvature, it probably curves out a little bit more than I'm showing, so just correct it with a little bit of eraser. Now this line here, it's narrow, so maybe this face comes in and it cuts in closer like that. Then we'll clean that up. Let's clean up this line here while we're at it, and this one. Okay, now when you drop in the eyes, there's a rounder eye in the middle, and then the other one on the outside. Okay, so there's a lot of lines here, and it looks like shading. It's because I'm trying to find where I'm going with this. Now this eye is a little bit, I just noticed that this eye is a little bit hidden. And so that's the trick here. You gotta make sure we get that right. So this eye is a little bit hidden. This internal circle is oval. And then we got the eyeball right in the middle. There's a slight highlight here. And then we fill in the rest dark, okay? And there's a lot of double lines here. It's not really that many lines because I'm just trying to find myself here. And then so you could hone it down later. Same here. Going straight down the middle here. We're gonna make the eyes, they're pretty much up and down. These are parallel. In other words, the eyes aren't going converging. It's just straight up and down these lines, following that center line. So let's do that. how close is the eye to the nose. That's really critical in capturing the personality of the character. And so we try to get these two lines two eyes to align. See, this one I have a little bit too high because the bottom of this should line up. So, and then, so we're dropping it down a little bit. And then there's a bigger oval around it. And right now, like the other one, I have a lot of too many lines. And so we clean that up later. I might not do it all right now. I'm going to clean up a few of the other lines. Okay. And then there's a highlight here. We try to leave that. Don't make it too big, but you don't want it to get lost. Okay, so I'm just kind of scanning over things and looking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, to make sure nothing looks too strange. You drop these things in real quick, and then I'm just trying to do the general placement. And they're rocks, so it could be off a little and it'll still look good. This leg, if it's a little bit off, but it's not gonna, like, nobody's gonna say, hey, that's not an Olaf. You know, they're gonna be looking at the face. But you do want to practice getting everything right, and that'll just make you a better artist. And so this, I'm gonna fill that in a little bit. And you can finish that later. Right here, the crown of the head kind of flattens out, and it rounds out over here. We drop in the eyebrows. You just try to, you know, if you have that center line in the right place, it'll split the eyebrows. I'm not going to spend too much time on the eyebrows, but they're going to be dark, and they help define the character. And make sure we got enough space above and below it. And then we have some hair here, which looks like hair, but they're really just branches from a tree, because he's a snowman. And so this one actually curves this way. So you try to, for the fun of it, try to capture it exactly. But even though this isn't a critical part of the character, and it's just good exercise. And it's all about seeing it accurately. And there's no tongue in there. Usually there's a tongue in it. You could drop in a tongue in there, but that guy doesn't have one. And so so the rest of it is just like shading. You can do this, and there's a crosshatched video I have. You could drop in some of that technique in here. And so you know the light source is coming from here. All the shading, well, a lot of the shading will be on this side. This one, it's on both sides, because something is round, it's gonna have shading on both sides. They look like marshmallows, but I think that's just snow. And right in here, there's gonna be shade. Right in here, you can drop some shade. And that's it. You don't want to do too much. It looks like he's got a beard or something. This one could be rounded a little bit different. I would tune that up a little bit. Let's take that tongue out, because he doesn't have one. And that's basically it. How was that?